I'm Poppy Balser. I want to take you through the pages of my latest travel sketchbook. My husband and I and our kids went on a trip recently. It was a family trip, so we spent most of our time exploring and having adventures, but some of the time when there was a quiet moment, I did do some sketching. I'll show you the sketches that I did and tell you a little bit about where I made them or why I made them, and show you some photos from our trip, and I hope you enjoy what you see. So here's my sketchbook, and we went on a tour of the Western Mediterranean on a cruise boat. That's the cover page, and we began our trip in Venice. And I didn't paint in Venice because the city there was so much to see and so much to do that there just wasn't time for sketching until we took a water bus to the Lido de Venezia, which is an island just off the shore of Venice itself. And it's an island with miles of beaches, and we went to the beach and we sat down and relaxed and enjoyed the warm sand and the cool water, and I did some sketching. From Venice, we caught our cruise boat, and this painting here, the sketch here on the left, is of the coast of Montenegro as we were approaching the city of Kotor, and it was a really quick sketch. The boat was moving, so I couldn't really draw any precise shapes, but I could sort of get the major shape of the hills we were passing, the mountains we were passing. The image on the right is of a church on a tiny island in the middle of the Bay of Kotor, and we went by there at sunset, and it was just too beautiful not to paint. This is another sketch from the Bay of Kotor. I was fascinated by the mountains. We don't have mountains like this in Nova Scotia. The clouds were coming down over the mountains and hiding parts of them and then moving away again, so it was really neat, really fun to use watercolor to try and capture that effect. I tried to do a larger sketch of the mountains from the Bay of Kotor again, but I didn't get a chance to finish this one, so I've got the sky in there and that's pretty much it. But it was a neat exercise, and who knows, maybe someday I'll look back at it and it'll be useful to me. The following day we were sailing along the coast of Greece, and there were again more mountains and more clouds, and I enjoyed painting that as we went by. Then we arrived in Athens, and I have to confess this is not a plein air piece. We went to the Acropolis and saw the Parthenon, which is the structure in the painting here. I didn't sketch on site because there was too many people and there was too much to see. I didn't want to take the time away from exploring to paint. But as we were walking by the Parthenon at one point, the way the sun came through the clouds and just shone off the marble ground that we were walking on in such a brilliant fashion, I thought, if I ever paint this scene, that is what I'm going to paint. And so when we got back to the boat, we had a day at sea where there was not much to do. So I spent some time working on this sketch from a photo I'd taken with my iPhone and based on my memories of the scene. When we were in Athens, we were there for a day and a half. So the second day, after we got back from visiting the Acropolis and going up and walking around all of it, the next day I went back on the bus and just sat at the bus stop at the base of the Parthenon, or the base of the Acropolis, rather. And that's when I did this sketch. So this one was done from life, and I'm pleased with how that turned out. I only had, in the end of things, I only had, again, about half an hour to paint that because we weren't in port for much longer, and I didn't want to miss the boat. So I did that quickly and then headed back to the boat. So the next day, we were at sea, and that was on account of the weather. It was really windy, and there were 3-meter seas, and again, dramatic clouds and dramatic lighting. So we were at sea, and I thought, well, I'll paint this. And that's the view from our cabin. This is the same day I did that sketch of the Parthenon on the previous page as well. Our last port of call was the town of Split, Croatia, or city of Split, Croatia. When we went ashore, what we really wanted to do was find a chance to get back into the water because it was so much warmer than at home and such clear, beautiful ocean for swimming. So we went off the boat and basically turned right and walked for 10 minutes and found a beach. And then we walked along the pedestrian walkway that was there along the beach and kept going and found several beaches and a marina to look at. And so we swam in at several of the beaches, and then we stopped for lunch. And while we were waiting for our food, I did a little sketch. That's the view from the seaside taverna where we were. It gives a sense of the brilliant lighting and the sunlit shore and the water. And then this is my last sketch from the trip. And again, it's a beach scene. I was trying to get a feel for the sun sparkling off the water and how the water becomes transparent as it gets closer to me, and I could see into the water because it was so crystal clear. It was just beautiful. And what was neat was that boat that's in the painting there came up as we were swimming. They sailed up, dropped anchor, and the crew jumped in the water, and they had a swim of their own. So that was kind of fun. So I put them in the sketch. So I hope you have enjoyed going through my sketchbook with me. If you have any comments or any questions, please feel welcome to either comment below or send me an email. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks.